Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video on the channel. Today we are reacting to the news that Evatt has left Bolton Wanderers Football Club after 4.5 seasons. This is my reaction. Again, let me know what you think down below of this news. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, that is very important, but also make sure you like the video as well. Let's go for 200. So Evatt left Bolton Wanderers on Wednesday morning after a 2-1 defeat to Charlton Athletic after leading in the match, but 2 late goals from the Addicts. That again was another dampener on a miserable, cold Tuesday evening in Bolton that just kind of described their season. That was their 10th defeat of the season, and this is Bolton Wanderers we are talking about. Losing 10 games should be absolutely nowhere near that. They're a side that have got great players, that have got great facilities, that have got a budget a lot bigger than a lot of other football clubs in this division, but the players are not thriving. The players look like they are thriving off the crowd energy. Bolton Wanderers are a massive football club with supporters that on the day are absolutely outstanding. Even off the day as well, when again it's Tuesday night, it's long distance away from home, they still back their team better than a lot of other football clubs do across the country as well. Unfortunately, over recent times, Bolton Wanderers fans have lost faith in the board and then in Evatt as well. In my opinion, Evatt should have left at the end of last season after a 2-0 defeat in the playoff final to Oxford United. That would have been a goodbye. Unfortunately, you didn't do what we wanted you to do and get us promoted to the Championship, but that would have been the perfect way to go, in my opinion. The last 6 months of last season were nowhere near good enough. This time last year, 12 months ago, Bolton Wanderers were in a really good position to maybe win the league or potentially finish in the top 2. They were known as games in hand FC because we knew that they had 2 or 3 games in hand. However, an injury to Baxter meant Joel Coleman came in. They weren't the same team. When Bolton Wanderers were losing games of football last year and not kind of getting their own rub of the green, they failed to adapt. They stuck with the same formation, didn't really change anything. And Evatt was stubborn in what he wanted to do. Evatt has had a fantastic 4.5 years at Bolton Wanderers. I just hope that Bolton Wanderers fans look at the first 3.5 years and judge him on that. Unfortunately, a lot will be judging him on the last 12 months, where he has failed to do what he needs to be as Bolton Wanderers manager. And that is to be a competitive top 6, if not top 2 team. Bolton Wanderers don't look far off the playoffs. People will say they're 3 points off the playoffs, 4 points off Barnsley. In fact, they're miles off that. The performances have been nowhere near good enough. Whenever they played a side in and around them, yes, they've beaten sides like Mansfield at home, who had 10 men. Lincoln, who also had 10 men. Yes, they beat Reading 5-2 at home. But again, other than that, they lost 5-0 away at Stockport. They drew 0-0 at home to Wrexham. They lost away at Birmingham 2-0. They got hammered at home to Huddersfield. They lost at home to Exeter. They dropped points against Cambridge United at home. Dropped points against Shrewsbury Town at home. And just haven't looked the same team. Bolton Wanderers in the last 3.5 years have been this team that has played with high intensity, played through the line, played out from the back with confidence, get the balls out to the fullbacks, through the midfield and into the kind of the wingers to cross the ball to get cross into the box. My issue is with Bolton, the players, they've got a lot of the same type of characters. McAtee, Collins, they had Dion Charles, who left the football club, who I thought was probably their biggest goal output. Unfortunately left the football club. It looked like he wasn't getting on with Evatt at the time. If he would have left at the end of last season, he would have been remembered as more of a legend and a historic figure in what Bolton Wanderers have done in the last few years. If he'd have left at that, he would have been remembered as, you got us to 2 playoffs, 1 semi-final, 1 final. You won us a Papa John's Trophy, a cup that involves League 1 and League 2 football clubs, and a promotion from League 2. Not only that, you've rebuilt the fan base in connection with the ownership. The ownership is inclined with the football club and it's moving again. You've got 16,000 loyal season tickets. You've got 20,000 on the gate at time this year. You've got a loyal away following that will travel length and breadth of the country for you. He did a really good job of connecting that. He built a really good team. Yes, he had resources, but he really built a good team that knew the fan base, knew the football club, and they knew how to get results. Unfortunately, this year, there's been too many times where Bolton Wanderers haven't been at the level. They started the season well with a victory over Leyton Orient, backed up with a decent point against Wrexham in a game that was quite flat. But since then, 10 defeats. And there's been so many opportunities this season that you could say Ian Evatt should have been potentially potted after to kind of erase this. Because right now, Ian Evatt he's come under some criticism in the last 6-8 weeks, but especially the last fortnight. And he's probably going through the toughest period of his life that he's getting absolutely hailed abuse at. And he's flapped a few times. He's snapped back. He's told fans to basically go, get out and basically not, be very friendly back with them. But that's spur of the moment. He was involved in altercation with Morgan Feeney at Shrewsbury as well. And there's been instances like that this season where, unfortunately, a short fuse, you're going to snap. In everyday life, we've all got them. And unfortunately, Ian Evatt lost his. But that was down to the ownership. Sharon Britton, I think, is a fantastic owner. And you'd go a lot further to try and find a better owner than her, in my opinion, for what she's done for the football club. She's, again, invested money into the club, but also knows the supporters. She isn't rash with decisions. She puts the supporters first. Season ticket prices are quite fairly priced, I think, as well. They get good value for money as well. And they've been a competitive team. And they've had a good product. When you think about kind of the time at the football club, you think a promotion from League Two, 9th first season after a really good run from January onwards, where if that run started maybe 7 or 8 games prior, they could have got into the playoffs in the first season back. Playoff semi-final lost to Barnsley, a playoff final lost to Oxford. However, the last 4 or 5 months of last season, they were poor and nowhere near the level. Unfortunately, this has come to an end and it is sad. And Ian Evatt has been a great manager. I think that there'll be a lot of jobs in for him. A lot of League One, League Two, potentially clubs will come in for him. I think the best thing he can do now is have a break. When you look at his career, long career, was at Chesterfield for a bit, did a very good job with Barrow, but went straight in at Bolton Wanderers. So he's been in management for now 7 years, when you think about it, 6-7 years. It's time for a break. I think you look at Mark Robbins, took a short sabbatical after Coventry, now got a job at Stoke. He is a good manager. He has done a good job, but unfortunately it lost his way. It lost its magic. It lost its spark. And sometimes you just need to rekindle that. Sometimes you can't rekindle that. And Sharon Britton's tried to light a fire that had no matches. That's one thing I would say that she's done, unfortunately. This Bolton Wanderers team, I think, towards the end, thrived off the crowd's energy. The crowd were waiting for an opportunity to get on Ian Evatt's back and almost went to games not caring anymore and waiting for Charlton to even have a shot on target so they could go not good enough. Wait for that first goal to go against you. Wait for the opportunity. You've not scored at home. You've not broke down the team. Then they're getting on the manager's back. They were waiting for an opportunity towards the end. I think a large proportion of Bolton fans maybe got to the situation of, would I take a defeat to Charlton if it meant a managerial change? I think probably 7 or 8 out of 10 yesterday. If I offered him that, would have said yes, rather than winning. He stays another 4 or 5 games. And I've said for ages, they're getting wins. The one away at Exeter last minute, and the one against Lincoln. Those wins put us off the inevitable, or the inevitable, you could say. And unfortunately, they've done that too often. They've always looked like they're getting closer to a managerial change, and they haven't, unfortunately, got it. It's never nice seeing a man lose his job, especially someone who's done a great job for the football club. He's done a really good job, but sometimes a change is needed. Very vocal on social media in recent weeks. I think he looks a broken man. He's often called out supporters in his press conferences. Changing me won't help. It's the same players on the pitch. And I think the players have fed off that again, the fans are, 20,000 people in a stadium on a Saturday against one man. Who are you going to start to listen to? Yes, you can listen to the one man for a bit, but they're going to have an input. They're fantastic supporters, and when they're on your side, they are absolutely electric. And it's a hard place to go in League One. Never mind, going there with 10, 15,000 like there was on last night. And I think the crowd kind of got to a situation of, when you're in a toxic environment, you start to sway that little bit, and your mindset can go and your mentality can go, and the attitude, the endeavour, the effort low can sometimes go. I think it got a little bit towards that, and I think they stopped playing for Ian Evatt towards the end. I think they were played well last night, to be fair to them, but I think that there wasn't the spark that there once was, and unfortunately, they've lost that. And he's never really come back after Wembley. I go back to that point. If they'd have got rid of him after Wembley, they came back in, I think, 42 days after the Wembley final, which is a very short turnover. And they're coming back in with a losing mentality, the same losing manager, the same losing players. Whereas if a new manager came in the summer, you all of a sudden got those players coming in, forgetting about last season. This season's totally different. With a new manager, I've got to be off it. I've got to be at it from day one. And all of a sudden it's totally different. And unfortunately, a bit too much loyalty, which you don't get in football these days, has unfortunately, I think, cost Bolton Wanderers this year. Replacements-wise, I'd be looking at Steven Schumacher. I think he's a very passionate manager that, gets teams in teams' faces. Typical Scouts manager. You see it with Carl Robinson and Joey Barton when he was at Fleetwood and Bristol Rovers as well. Again, got experience at this level. I think it'd be a great appointment. I'd also be looking at Des Buckingham, who absolutely schooled Ian Evatt earlier, who also schooled Ian Evatt last season in the playoff final. Yes, he didn't do a great job results-wise at Oxford, but won a promotion and got the job done in important times. Who would I avoid? Liam Richardson like the plague. I just don't think that'd be a great appointment at all. He's ex-Wigan. You might get a few results. As soon as you lose a game of football, it's, he's Wigan him. I'm not getting on his side. And you'll get a lot of Bolton fans that won't go to games because he's Wigan. He's managed Wigan. He's been successful there. And when you play Wigan and you lose 1-0, all of a sudden he's going to get it more than another manager would do because he's Wigan and he's probably delighted with the result. It won't be that case, but fans get that into the head. I'd also avoid Big Sam. I think that Sam Allardyce is a fantastic manager and has done well in the game. He's done well once there before. They love and adore him there, but I just think never go back. It's like an ex-girlfriend. It just causes trouble. I think those two would be good appointments. I really would. I think the top two I mentioned would be great appointments. There's obviously other managers out there, that from abroad as well that you could potentially look at as well. But I think that they'd be good appointments. Ryan Lowe is potentially another one that you could mention as well. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please like, please subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed this quick turnover for a video as well. And until next time, I will see you later.